Hey, what's up guys? Listen, in this quick lesson, I want to talk about solving quadratic equations, all right? They are super easy. The good news about this is you already know the steps because if you notice, if you're looking at these problems here, x squared minus 3x plus 2, guys, you have a trinomial right here. So obviously, in order to solve a quadratic equation, we're going to be using what we previously learned about solving or factoring trinomials, and those same steps are going to apply. Now there's going to be a few more steps because you have this equals 0 here, which makes it an actual equation. And I'll show you what to do with that. It is super simple. You already know what to do. Now, before I get into solving this algebraically, which the Regents will make you do, one thing is important to know kind of where this whole thing here comes from. And guys, basically it's finding the roots or zeros of a quadratic function. And that's what you have up here. This is an actual function that can be graphed, right? F of x or y equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. And what you'll have to do is just by looking at this graph, this is what it will look like when you graph it. And if you don't know how to graph these yet, don't worry, we're going to be going over all of that soon. You should have seen it already. If not, no big deal. But this is what the calculator is going to give you. This is what this function looks like in the calculator. And you'll have to tell me what are the roots, or another word they'll use is the zeros. And basically, guys, the roots or zeros is where your quadratic function hits the x-axis. Remember, this is the y-axis. Horizontal is always the x-axis. So the function comes down, it comes down, it comes down, boom, it hits the x-axis right here. And then it continues to go down until it hits the vertex, which we'll talk about. And then it goes up and hits the x-axis again here. So notice it hits the x-axis in two locations. Therefore, you're going to have two roots or two zeros for your answer. So the question is, well, where does it hit? Well, if this is 0 right here, well, you just count back. -1, -2, -3, -4. So one root or 0. So we'll write roots. And we'll say -4. And, you don't want to put a comma here, guys. You write and, +1, +2. Okay, that's basically now when we solve quadratic equations below, this is what we're looking for, but we're looking to solve it algebraically. This is how you could solve it graphically. We're going to learn right now how to solve it algebraically. And this is how you solve it algebraically. Remember what we said, guys. X squared minus 3x plus 2. This is a trinomial. So how do you factor trinomials, guys? The first step is always two sets of parentheses. The only difference now, because it's a quadratic equation, you bring it equals 0 down. First sign, like we learned already, goes to the right. We don't care what it is. In this case, the second sign is plus, guys. That tells us signs will be the same. Don't forget that. So this is minus minus. Square root of x squared is x and x. And then as always, guys, you factor the last number of 2, and we know the factors of 2 are 1 and 2. And that makes sense, guys, because you have a plus sign here, so 1 plus 2 gives you the 3 we need. So you put a 1 here, you put a 2 here. Now, normally when you're factoring, you would be finished, but because it says equals 0, because we're looking for the zeros or the roots, we do, guys, what is called or what I call a T-chart. All right, and basically, guys, literally looks like a T. You draw a line in between your parentheses. Notice it kind of got like a T here. Copy what's in the parenthesis, x minus 1. And set it equal to 0. And then you copy what's in this parenthesis, x minus 2, and set it equal to 0. Now, why is this so easy? Because, guys, these are two simple one-step equations, right? Draw a line down the equal sign, opposite of, to solve for x, opposite of -1 is +1. We always do opposites. What we do to one side, always to the other. Line underneath, -1, +1 cancels, guys. You get x equals 0 plus 1 is 1. On this side, line down, opposite of -2 is +2, +2, and you get x equals +2. So what are the roots for this quadratic equation? So you would write roots, or you could put zeros, either one is fine, 1 and 2. So if we were to graph this in the calculator, in the y equals, it's going to cross the x-axis at +1 and +2. That's what roots are, guys, and that's how you solve it algebraically. Now let's look at another one. Now, here's the x squared plus 2x minus 8, which we graphed, I graphed for you up here. Notice the roots we got were -4 and 2. So let's now prove that algebraically. Remember, algebraically means, guys, you show your work. First step when solving this is two sets of parentheses, because remember, you have a trinomial. First sign, guys, always to the right. Now, second sign is minus. That means signs are going to be different. Well, if this is plus, then that has to be a minus. You factor x squared, you get x and x. Now we want the factors of 8. We know them. 1 and 8. 2 and 4. Remember, when you get a minus sign here, you want to subtract. Well, what gives me 2? We're looking for this middle term of 2 when I subtract. Well, that's 4 minus 2. Remember, 2 goes first, 4 goes second. Smaller number first, larger number second when factoring. Now, normally you'd be finished factoring, but because it says equals 0, guys, that's where you need your T-chart. So you draw your line in between your parentheses, looks like a T. And now bring down what's in the parentheses and solve. X minus 2 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Line down the equal sign, guys. It's a simple one-step equation. Opposite of minus 2 is positive 2, both sides. 2's cancel. You get x equals 0 plus 2 is 2. And then the same on this side, line down. Opposite of positive 4 now is negative 4. 4's cancel, you get x equals negative 4. All right? So your roots are negative 4 and positive 2, which, by the way, guys, that's what we got up here graphically. So you can solve them both graphically and algebraically, but obviously if the Regents wants it algebraically, guys, for full credit, you have to show your work and solve it algebraically. We'll get into graphing these soon. Now let's look at some this is how it'll come up on a part 2, say, right? And it will literally say, find the zeros. So once you see the word zeros, guys, you know it's quadratic. You should see an equal 0, or you have to put an equal 0 at the end of it. And of course, they provide it for you here. And you have a squared minus 7a minus 30 equals 0. Waste no time at all, guys. That's a trinomial. 2 sets of parentheses, and bring your equal 0 down. First sign, always to the right. Second sign is minus, guys. That means signs are going to be different. So if this is a minus, this is a plus. Square root of a squared is a. Now you got to factor 30. We know the factors of 30. And guys, remember, if you don't know the factors of 30, you go to your calculator, right? We know how to do that. Y equals 30 divided by x, second graph, and all your factors come up. 1 and 30, 2, 15, 3 and 10, and of course, don't forget, 5 and 6. Now we're looking for a 7 when you subtract. Well, that's 3 and 10 right here. Boom. 3 goes first, 10 goes second. Normally you're finished, but guys, you know, quadratic equations, you got to set up a T-chart. Draw a line in between your parentheses, guys. It looks like a T. You put a plus 3 equals 0. You put a minus 10 equals 0. All I'm doing is copying what's in the parentheses. That's all I'm doing. I'm just putting zeros after it. That's it. Now, one small step equation, draw a line down the equal sign. Opposite of a positive 3 is negative 3, both sides. So you get positive 3, negative 3 cancel. You get a equals 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Same thing here. Opposite of minus 10 is positive 10. 10's cancel. You get a equals positive 10. So now, what are the Regents used zeros. I mean, if you wrote roots, I don't think it would be a big deal. But guys, in this case, it's zeros, which is the same thing as roots. You would say negative 3 and 10. Simple. That's solving a quadratic equation. One more, guys, and you're done. Super easy. Once again, they say the word roots, guys. Roots is always, you should be looking for an equals 0. X squared minus 10x plus 21. That is a trinomial. Waste no time. 2 sets of parentheses. Minus or first sign to the right. Now, the second sign is positive. So, guys, in this case, signs are going to be the same. You do have to remember the trinomial factoring rules, of course, for this. So, it's minus, minus, x and x. Factors of 21, we know them, 1 and 21. And, of course, 3 and 7. Simple. I need a 10 when I add. Well, that's simple, guys. 3 plus 7 gives you the 10 you need. 3 goes first, 7 goes second. Normally you're finished, but guys, T-chart. Line in between the parentheses looks like a T. You get x minus 3 equals 0. And you get x minus 7 equals 0. Line down the equal sign, add 3 here, add 3 here. Simple one-step equation. Negative 3, positive 3 always cancels out because you get 0. X equals 0 plus 3 is positive 3. Same thing on this side. Line down, opposite of minus 7, plus 7. 7's cancel. You get x equals positive 7. So guys, your roots are positive 3 and 7. Remember, roots is where the quadratic function crosses the x-axis. So if we were to graph this in the calculator, guys, it's going to cross at positive 3 and positive 7. Do you want to test it? Let's test it right now together. Go to your calculator, hit y equals. We're going to put x squared minus 10x plus 21. X squared minus 10x plus 21, and then you hit graph. Boom. Here it is right here. Notice it comes down, crosses at positive 3, and then goes back up and crosses right here at 7. So this algebraic work is correct. So guys, that is how you solve quadratic equations algebraically. Okay? Don't forget roots and zeros is where the function crosses the x-axis. We will get into that soon. Any questions, please email me. My email is in the description below. Comment on what you liked, what you didn't like. Please subscribe, like, and share, guys. And as always, listen, thank you for watching, and please continue to stay safe, and I will see you guys on the next lesson.